Okay, so similar to the first problem we looked at with the different towns' populations, we're going to look at renting a car for a day, and we're going to compare 3 different companies and what they charge. So Company X charges $20 a day and then 20 cents per mile. Company Y charges $30 per day and 10 cents per mile. And Company Z, as in zebra, charges $70 per day, and then there's just no fee per mile. So it's just $70 flat fee. All right, so what I would like you to do is see if you can come up with a formula for the cost of driving M miles a day. So instead of Y, I've just done the cost, so the letter C, and then the X just represents Company X, this Y is Company Y, the Z is Company Z. And then instead of using X, you're going to use M. So if we think about this as a graph, your independent variable is your M, and your dependent variable is this C. Okay, so you're going to pause the video here quick and write down 3 functions there. All right, so let's see if we got the same thing. There's a $20 flat fee plus 0.2 times M. So M is the number of miles you're going to drive in that day. Car company Y charges $30, and then it's going to be 0.1 times M. And then car company Z is $70. And if you think about it, it's really plus 0M, right? So there's no charge per mile. So you don't really need to include that part. You can just put the 70 there. All right, so we have this table down below. What I'd like you to do is take a minute and graph these. So we know that these numbers here are our y-intercepts. And then this is telling you how that slope is changing. So go ahead, pause the video again, take a minute, see how you do with that. All right, so here is what I have in terms of the graphs. And I'll show you how I figured this out. So what I did was, and you are certainly welcome to use a graphing calculator or Desmos or something like that to graph these. So I plotted that 20 for car company X as an X-ray. And then I just plugged in a number like 150 in for M and found out what that point was. And then once I've put 2 points on there, I can just draw a line straight through them. Okay, and that gives me my X line. The green line here is company Y as in yellow, because that's not confusing to make it green and then call it yellow. Sorry about that, guys. So company Y starts at 30, and then I plugged 200 in. So I just picked a point at random, an M value at random, and connected those 2 up. So there's company Y. And then company Z as in zebra. I plotted that 70 because that's my y-intercept, and it never changes. So that is just a horizontal line. And I just drew that guy all the way across. All right, so hopefully you were able to generate a graph that looks something like that. Again, you're more than welcome to use some sort of online graphing software like Desmos. Desmos is free. If you're using Google Chrome, usually you can type the function into Google and it will just graph it for you. Your graphing calculator, anything like that is totally fine. Right, and then let's look at some problems related to this. So, how many miles would you have to drive in order for company Y to cost the same as company X? So what we're looking for here, picture-wise, is where X and Y meet up. So where these green and blue lines intersect. So to get that, we're just going to set these 2 equal to each other. So I'm going to take 20 plus 0.2 M and set that equal to 30 plus 0.1 M. And then I'm going to solve for M. And that'll tell us where they're going to cost the same. So I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides. That gives me 0.2 M is equal to 10 plus 0.1 M. I'll subtract off that 0.1 M. That gives me a total of, let me speed this up a little bit here. So that gives me a total of 0.1 M is equal to 10. And if I divide that over, what I get is that m is equal to 100. And if we take a look at this picture here, I think we're going to see that that seems close to reasonable. My picture isn't perfect, but that does seem like that's pretty probable in there for a matchup there. All right, and then we have one more question. So this one's a little bit different because now I want to know when is company X going to cost more than company Z? So if I wanted to know where they were equal to, I would take 20 plus 0.2 m and then set it equal to this formula for company Z. So I would set that equal to 70. Okay, if I was looking for where they're equal, but what I'm looking for is where X is going to cost more. So where X is greater, this company X is greater than company Z. So I'm going to turn this into an inequality. So I have a linear inequality here. And I'm going to go ahead and solve for m. So to do that, I'm going to subtract this 20 over to the other side. That gives me 0.2 m is greater than 50. And then I'm going to divide by 0.2. Since I'm dividing by a positive number, all I have to do is divide. I don't have to worry about any extra work here, which is nice. And I get m is greater than 250. So if I'm going to drive more than 250 miles, then company X is going to cost me more money. So if I was a savvy consumer, if I knew I was going to drive more than 250 miles in a day, I would rent from company Z instead of company X. And then let's just take a look at our picture here and see. Let's see, so 250 miles, that's right there. And yep, you can see where the blue line has crossed over this red line. So this is the cost here on this axis. And so you can see that blue is going to cost us more if we go with that company. All right, so I hope that gives you a little bit of insight into setting up the formulas, what that picture graph-wise looks like, and a little bit about solving some things related to that word problem. When you come back to the next video, we're going to work more with some inequalities.